Hello and welcome back. This is going to be part two to that Divine Masculine check in. And wow, talk about telecommunications delays, getting us out of our comfort zone. Yes. I imagine for a lot of you, this is what's going on with you, Divine Femmes, is that you're experiencing a lot of delays. You may be feeling the energy even of your masculine. It's like something is happening, something is changing. You might be feeling a physical sensation somewhere that is unusual for you, that is picking up on them. Either way, don't let your, well, I mean, if you need to do shadow work, go ahead and do it, but keep the faith in this moment. I want to say, just hold on to hope. Just be patient. I know we don't like hearing that. I'm thinking I might do some divine feminine readings too, because sometimes we need the encouragement of what exactly it is that we're supposed to be doing. See, I can't even. New cameras having trouble adjusting to the light. Um, Now, while I was waiting for the thing to upload and having to do a couple of errands in between because it's my uploads are taking extra long for some strange reason. I've been hearing the song I believe it's by Stevie Wonder, that I just call to say I love you and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Don't I didn't get on here to be a YouTube singer, so bear with me here. But I get a sense that that's part of what this card is that came out when I was asking what are they manifesting. What is that magician card about in their hearts? And I'm getting the sense that a fair amount of them, this is manifesting of an escape. Some of them, this is them taking a time out, because swords can oftentimes be thoughts, and sometimes they're also boundaries, but they can also be cutting words. So many of them are with karmics who have strong air sign placements or traits, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and can be very cutting with their words, very cold and logical. And I think a fair amount of these masculines are like, they thought that they were being logical by staying with them. They thought that it was the right thing to do, but they're actually seeing that what is healthier and what is more logical is to separate themselves from the situation, to really stop and think about it, and to really, like I was saying before, this, in some people believe this is the Empress here. And it's almost, I just had a vision in my head of the movie Aladdin, where Jasmine goes out dressed as common folk, and just wants to get away for a little while, and then she meets Aladdin, who's a street rat. And for, I say, I'm certainly not going to profess to be, some sort of royalty or anything, but I didn't exactly grow up with a really impoverished situation either. And in comparison to my DM, who did grow up, really, really hard knocks, it can seem like that. A fair amount of you might have a similar story. Maybe, you didn't have a lot of money, but you had parents who were emotionally secure with you, or at least better than a lot of people or maybe the other way. Maybe you had money and you had access to resources, but you didn't have it great emotionally. But a lot of these masculines didn't have either. They had to go to this place, they had to find this place in their heads and their hearts a lot. And I'm really getting a strong pull that a fair amount of these masculines, this is actually them, how do I put it? A lot of these masculines, especially those that you've been in union or pseudo union with in the past, you had talks with them about wanting them to heal so that you could be with them as if they were not broken by their pasts, as if they hadn't been with exes who had really broken their hearts, as if you wanted them to be able to really love you without fear. And they were convinced that you can't go back. And when you had separation, they were still convinced of that you can't go back, especially for those of you that told them to go. Like, no, look, I love you and I know we're meant to be together, but at this point you're draining my cup so quickly and so strongly in my attempt to be patient with you and support you that it's becoming a liability, and now I am sinking down to the unhealed level that you're at. You need to go and experience life, or if they'd already had a third party involved in some way, or they'd had karmics, like, you need to go and deal with those people. Come back to me when you're done dealing with those people. They didn't think, they thought you were full of crap. They thought that you had kind of, it's funny because the Pisces full moon, that you kind of had this Piscean, like, what is I was describing to somebody earlier, the opposition between the Virgo sun and the Pisces full moon. It's like Virgo is this very, like, it's time to get things organized. It's time to get the sheets folded and the spreadsheets written out, and to take a count of how many um, emergency earthquake kits and survival things that we have in the pantry, and to account for each person and how much are we going to be spending over the next month and the next 6 months after that, and we got to get our ducks in the line. Versus the Pisces energy that is really abundant, being a full moon, which is like, I don't want to do that. So I want to go in the backyard and pick wildflowers and put them in my hair and just enjoy things. And for what the image that I get is that the masculines have been in that Virgo energy since we had the sun in Pisces and the full moon went into Virgo, and they've been very money oriented. I got to get the money, and I got to account for this. I got to pay this bill. I got to pay that. And many of you have probably even been neglected, actually, for them to be working on their jobs. You may have even misinterpreted it as they were neglecting you for a person, but actually a lot of them were feeling like they just didn't have enough money to be able to provide the kind of lifestyle that they feel that you're worthy of, or they didn't feel like, well, I don't have the emotional maturity, I don't have the financial security, I don't have a house, I don't have this, I don't have that. And they were trying to manifest that. They were trying to bring that in, and the empresses and divine femmes, we're over here as Divine Maverick had said, being much more like Wally, the little robot, just like, whoa, and we're like enjoying this spiritual journey and spiritual experience, and we're like, I just want you. I don't care if you don't have any money. I'll live in a box with you on the side of the alley and still make it look like home. I'll still decorate it and cook you up a delicious meal, and you won't even realize we're living in a box in an alley. Like, and we're just like, come on, just listen to spirit, listen to the synchronicities. And they're over there in the Virgo energy going, what are they talking about? Like, it would be nice to be able to live in that world. It would be nice to be able to just braid our hair and not have to worry about the bills and stuff, and just to believe that you could just manifest whatever you want. And if you're just receptive, it'll flow in and be wonderful. But they really thought, a lot of them growing up, that, they were all of their dreams. They wanted to be a musician. No, no, no. You can't do that. They want to own their business. No, no, you're not special enough. No, no, no. Most people don't make it. They don't do this. They don't do that. They were told to put their heads down and do the typical toxic patriarchy thing. Shut up, put up, make money, and that's it. No fun, none of the rest, none of it matters. Only having enough money matters. And now, looky, looky, I got hooky. The full moon in Pisces is here with the Virgo sun. And they're manifesting healing for months, even before the Virgo full moon back in, like, I think it was January or February. I can't recall. I think it was January. Most all the cards that would come out, and what are they working towards? It was Pentacles. But look, now they're manifesting healing thoughts. They're working on their self-talk. And there's a lot of water in this card, even though it's an air sign based. There's even a wand in it. Isn't that funny? You could even consider the boat to be a bit of earth, and there is earth in it. Look, there's a tree there. That's part of why this card is about balance, is about healing. All elements are in here. I don't have all colors in here, though, and it's mostly orange and blue, but this can also be about speaking and about writing. A fair amount of them may be getting back into journaling. They may be getting ready to write messages to you, or they're getting their thoughts together. And here's a funny thing, I asked what are they manifesting? What is that Magician card about? So they're manifesting healing. And likely with you, especially if you have children with them. And this is a duality too. A fair amount of them are also manifesting, like, they don't want to just leave their karmics out in the cold. Even though the karmics are terrible, they still don't want to do that. They don't want to feel like an awful person. Some of them are going to have to. That's part of their karmic lesson, but it's a good thing. If they don't, a healed person, a kind person does not return aggression. They don't return favors, they don't return when people are being unkind. They still respond with kindness. And it's a good thing if these masculines are trying to find a healing way to get their karmics out. Like a fair amount of them even had karmics that convinced them that they were damsels in distress and sorely needed assistance, and the masculines are seeing it's not what they said, and that they are much more capable, and they're not damsels in distress, and that even if they wanted to help them, they're becoming such a burden that the whole ship is sinking. They have to free themselves from it, or everybody goes down. And they're more just like some of these masculines, I get the sense some of them will be paying for, so this could even be paying for a ticket, paying for a boat ride, or a train ticket, or an airplane ticket for their karmics to go be with family, or go be a lot of them have found out, or will be finding out with this full moon, that they've been cheated on a lot, and that these karmics have had plenty of backup plans waiting in the wings for when the inevitable end came, because that's what they're used to in relationships, and they will be until they come across a karmic partner for them that will hopefully get them onto their divine path. So don't knock them. We've all been in our karmic place, and half of us got to this path because we ran into either a karmic or our twin. And if we have karmic interactions with our twins until we're healed too, it works that way. And what I thought was interesting though with the shuffle, so on the bottom of the deck we got, look at that, divine masculine himself, but in reverse. And this is in the shadow card position. So in terms of like what is masculine manifesting, and in fact, the Magician is an initiation card too. So many of these masculines are starting to begin their divine journey. There's a lot of water in this card. Spirituality, Pisces energy, some Cancer and Scorpio in there too. They're seeing the logic in it. And why? Because they're feeling completely unstable. Some of your masculines might also have some Aries placements, but I think for the most part, this is, they're feeling overwhelmed. Their stability's been rocked. Many of them have put all of their hearts into the situation that they've been in with these karmics, only to be toppled over and dethroned and expected to still run the ship, to still do all the chores and take care of the kids and take care of themselves and not have any time or space for themselves. This is why they're manifesting healing, and they're actually thinking about hippy dippy divine femme. If you've been that type over there, just